Good afternoon, everybody. It's Brother T with VCR, a Freemason and cigar enthusiast, and I got the tapes rolling on another cigar review video for you folks today. Yes, as you can see, we're here with the R, but what you can't see is we have new audio-visual recording equipment. So we're hoping that this video is a step up from the previous, provided the content is still Class A. Today we're going to be smoking the Crook of the Crown by Stolenthrone. It is their first release, and I believe it came out last year. And hot on the heels of that release came the Call to Arms, which is fantastic, and we'll be doing a review on that. And they also created the Oathkeeper as well, and we'll also be doing a review on that stick as well. Spoiler alert, Oathkeeper, it's fantastic. All of Stolenthrone cigars are great, but it comes down to personal preference, and for me, that just resonates in a special way. But so does the Crook of the Crown. Initial impressions, it is toothy. It's very toothy. It has a slight oil sheen to it, visible veins, tight visible seams, very tough pack. It has a closed foot or a partially closed foot, and a very broad double cap. Pre-light aroma, it strikes me as really a straight cut chewing tobacco. It's very tobacco forward, and elements of rich cedar. All right, right off the bat, bready, black pepper, slight wood. No real heat. Smoke is moderately dense, slightly creamy, slight oil to the lips so far. Strikes you as full body right away. Could be because of the closed foot, and we know that that adds to the smoking experience. So we'll bill it as a closed foot consideration right now. Starts off just fantastic. All right, everybody. Getting to about the 1 inch in mark. Smoke is pouring off the foot. It has lost that breadiness at the very beginning. Also, some of the body, it went from probably a full body smoke down to a medium. I do expect that to pick up though as we smoke down the cigar. So we'll see what comes to play. Primary notes that we're getting right now: earth, wood, a slight sweetness there. There's a cream element, slight black pepper. There have been intermittent notes of a heat, which I would almost equate to a red pepper chili flake, but they haven't held on, and they certainly haven't found their way to the finish yet, so I wouldn't call it really quote-unquote a spicy cigar. So we'll see where it goes. Smoke is still moderately dense. Very enjoyable. All right, folks. We're roughly hitting the halfway mark. The ash just fell off, held on by and large for the entire time leading up to this point. Well over 1.5, 2 inch plus mark. Feeling really fantastic about it. The tasting notes that we have had so far up till this point, and there's been a lot of flavors, there's been a lot of transitions, it's been very dynamic. We've had elements of hay, black tea, earth, cedar, cream. There's a dried fruit component, and a pencil lead finish. All right, getting to the point where we have to undress this guy, remove the band. The blend, it uses a Mexican San Andreas wrapper that has been aged for 10 years. Which is just astounding, and I think that that adds a lot of complexity to this blend, because I've been pulling a very clear black tea note since probably a little bit before the halfway mark, and it really just is, it's fantastic. The band, it's pretty pedestrian. It uses what I guess I would call a ribbon stock. It's hard to tell if it's paper or plastic. It really strikes you as almost wax paper that has been printed on, So pretty straightforward, some embossed elements. Color palette isn't that sophisticated. It's white, red, and black. They're in the business of making cigars, not bands. I can say that very clearly. And this was, in some instances, or in some respect, their minimum viable product. It was their first cigar to market. Hard to say what marketplace reception would be in terms of cost outlays. And it was a home run from the very beginning. Absolutely, I would recommend this cigar, hands down, especially if you are a fan of Mexican San Andreas smokes. This is it. The binder is Indonesian and the filler is Nicaraguan. Notes that we have so far up until this point, we've had a very clear marshmallow, really quite forward marshmallow at times, cream, wood, again that black tea that I've mentioned, a slight coffee bean, a little bit of pencil lead on the finish, and a cocoa note. There are pops of what I guess would be a cognac spice, best I could describe it. It really reminds you of a good cognac. And cocoa. Doing the cigar wrap up. Construction, very firm pack. The wrapper leaf was almost caramelized, for lack of a better word. When the sugars in the tobacco leaf go through that aging and that heat process, it leads to a caramelization, or what is the truthful term is called glycation, I do believe. It's when that sugar gets metabolized and turns into what you see is that caramelized note. The cigar, if you can hear it, I don't know, you can almost tap it and it almost sounds hollow. It's a shell almost. And you don't see it that often. When you do, you know you're in for a good time, and this certainly delivered. Burn didn't need any touch-ups. Draw, it was a little stiff. In no way did it take away from the smoking experience. The volume of smoke was about moderate. It's adequately dense. It's creamy, not oily. It's a medium plus in body, full in strength. And this wraps up our walkthrough of the Crook of the Crown by Stolenthrone. I'm Brother T with VCRs, and as always, smoke 'em if you got 'em.